Hello everyone, welcome to Tegan's Learning Tree. You know, an animal that's really associated with this time of year, and especially the Easter holiday, are rabbits, also known as bunnies. So I thought, what a fun idea to learn about this animal. So I've got this book with us today called Rabbits, Rabbits, and More Rabbits. It's written and illustrated by Gail Gibbons. And before we begin, I'd like you to activate your prior knowledge and think about one thing you might already know about rabbits. As we read, maybe that little fact that you know about rabbits will be discussed. I also want you to, as I'm reading, look for something you're learning about rabbits. Maybe a thing you did not know already and that you learned from reading this book. All right, let's dive in and learn about some rabbits. Here's our cover page, our title page, and let's start reading. There are wild rabbits and tame rabbits. Tame rabbits can be gentle and loving pets. Tame rabbits are rabbits that are able to be pets. They are bred to be pets. So we've got two different breeds here. We've got the Flemish Giant and the Netherland Dwarf. So as you can tell, the giant is quite a large rabbit. The first rabbit relative or cousin lived 55 million years ago and was found in Mongolia. Early rabbit cousins hopped around like today's rabbits, but had smaller ears and a longer tail. The reason we know this is through fossils. A fossil is the hardened remains or traces of a plant or animal life preserved in rock. So scientists, like archaeologists, study fossils and make connections between animals that lived in the past and animals that live today. Rabbits are members of the Leopardae family, along with their close relative hares. All hares are wild. Leopards have 4 sharp front teeth used for gnawing. They are mammals. All mammals are warm-blooded animals. They drink milk from their mothers when they are babies. So here we have a rabbit, and this is a hare. It's a close relative to the rabbit. And here we have a close-up look at a rabbit mouth. There's the skull, and here we can see the teeth called incisors. They have 4 sharp incisors, and they're used for gnawing. The most common kinds of wild rabbits are cottontail rabbits and European common rabbits. This is a cottontail rabbit, and this is a European rabbit. Wild rabbits live on every continent except Antarctica. All tame rabbits are descendants of European common rabbits, so all pet rabbits are descendants from this breed. Where I live, the most common rabbit I see most of the time is a cottontail. Most rabbits have the same basic characteristics. So here we have a picture of a blue Dutch rabbit, and it's been labeled. So we know the parts of the animal based on the labels. We have ears, eyes, shoulder, back, rump, tail, hind legs. So the hind legs are the back legs. 4 toes on their back feet, 5 toes on their front feet. And this is their foreleg, their stomach, their mouth, whiskers, and nose. So this is the body structure of a rabbit. There are big rabbits and small rabbits. Their heads can be pointed and narrow or broad and flat. Wild rabbits have short brownish fur. Domestic rabbits have short or long fur that can be white, black, gray, reddish, brown, or a mixture of these colors. Their fur keeps them warm. So even though the length and color of the fur might differ, the purpose of the fur is to keep the animal warm. So here we have our wild rabbit, the cottontail, with its short brown fur. We have an English spot. You can probably see how it got its name. Tan dwarf, a harlequin, a gray dwarf, and a brown Angora. And look at the length of the long hair on that Angora. Most rabbits have a splash of white on their short, fluffy tails. When a rabbit senses danger, it will use its white tail to confuse predators as it runs away. See, now that's a fact that I learned. I knew that rabbits had these adorable little fluffy white tails. I did not know the purpose of it. And reading this book, I just found out the purpose of the tail is to confuse predators as it runs away. How cool! Hop, hop, hop. Rabbits get around by using their powerful hind legs. Remember, their hind legs are their back legs. They can run as fast as 25 to 35 miles an hour. They can leap 15 feet and can jump 1 to 2 feet straight in the air. So they're great fast runners and they're great at jumping because they have these powerful legs. Pads or coarse or compressed fur under its feet protect the rabbit's toes. These pads also give the rabbit a good grip as it leaps or runs. Often, when a rabbit senses danger, it thumps a hind leg on the ground as a warning to other rabbits. So this rabbit looks like it's noticed that hiker coming, and it's thumping its hind leg to let these rabbits know, hey, pay attention, there is potential threat nearby. It's a cool way to communicate. A rabbit depends most of all on its excellent hearing. Just take a moment and notice those gigantic ears that rabbits are famous for. So their excellent hearing is so important. It moves its ears together or one at a time to catch the sounds coming from any direction. And so rabbits need to keep themselves safe. They need to be aware of their surroundings because they have lots of predators that want to eat them. So they have adapted many different characteristics that help keep them safe. And one of the big ones is that hearing, those gigantic ears. Rabbits can see better than people in the dark. A rabbit's eyes are on the sides of its head. Because of this, it can see both sides as well as the front to back. A rabbit has a good sense of smell too. It nose wiggles constantly as it sniffs to identify any scents. So rabbits really have lots of good ways to keep itself safe. It gets fast. It's got great hearing. It's got great sight, and it's got a great sense of smell. I'm getting all tongue-tied here because rabbits need to keep themselves safe. So they need to know what's going on in their surroundings. And I'm thinking of how the rabbit nose wiggles. When people kind of impersonate a rabbit, they often try to wiggle their nose, but it's pretty hard for us humans, isn't it? But rabbits can do it pretty well. And it looks so cute when they do it too. Rabbits that live in the wild have all kinds of enemies. They are hunted by foxes, hawks, and many other animals. Their biggest enemy is people who hunt them for food and for their fur. So that's why rabbits are, you might even say, on edge. They're nervous. They're always aware of their surroundings, but they have good reason for it. They have lots of enemies or predators in the wild. When an enemy appears, a rabbit may stay very still, not to be forced, or it may run away. So it's got two options. You might have seen a rabbit do this if you've ever seen a rabbit. They try to stay very still, like maybe if I don't move at all, that fox won't notice me. Or if the fox definitely noticed me, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to run super fast out of here. So there's two different choices it could do to stay safe. Rabbits are vegetarians. Another word for that is an herbivore. That means they don't eat meat. In the spring and summer months, wild rabbits eat leafy plants like clover and grass. Biting and chewing help wear down their front teeth, which grow continuously. During the winter months, they live on bark, twigs, buds, and even pine needles. So remember those teeth from the diagram earlier? Well, they grow all the time, so rabbits need to make sure they're chewing a lot to keep those teeth from getting too long. Cottontail rabbits nest and sleep in a shallow hole called a form in the spring and fall. Here we've got a diagram of a form. During the winter, they find protection under brush or wood or in the shelter of a ledge. The European common rabbits live in warrens of 2 to 10 rabbits. A warren is a series of underground burrows and tunnels. So this is one burrow, this is another, and the tunnels connect them. And it said a warren could have 2 to 10 rabbits. Rabbits are crepuscular, which means they see best and are most active at dawn and dusk. So they're not nocturnal, but they're also not the most active during the day. They're most active just as the sun is beginning to rise or set. Rabbits will sleep and nap during the day and night. A well cared for pet rabbit can live 8 to 12 years. In the wild, a rabbit may live about 1 or 2 years old. To be 1 or 2 years old. A male rabbit is called a buck. A female rabbit is called a doe. I want you to think for a second, why do you think pet rabbits live so much longer than wild rabbits? Can you think of a reason? One reason I'm thinking of is that pet rabbits don't have any predators to worry about. They don't have anything trying to hunt and eat them, and they always know that they're going to have food and safe shelter. And that isn't so for the wild rabbits. The doe cottontail rabbit cares for her young inside her body for about 30 days. Several times a year, she will give birth to 4 to 8 babies in a group called a litter. Baby rabbits are called kits or kittens. So a rabbit is only pregnant for about a month. And when the babies are born, she can have lots of them, 4 to 8. And these are called kits or kittens. They are born with their eyes closed and without any fur. To keep them warm, the mother covers them with grass and bits of her fur in the form or nest she has dug in the ground. At about a week old, the kits have opened their eyes and grown a coat of soft fur. So when they're very first born, they're quite vulnerable. They can't see, they don't have any fur to keep warm, so the mother really has to protect them. But in just a week, they've already grown fur and have opened their eyes. When they are about 3 weeks old, the kits leave their nest. They dig their own forms. Their mother only nurses them for the first few weeks of their life. They begin to find their own food. So baby rabbits grow up quick. Mom only takes care of them for a few weeks before they are kind of on their own, having to find their own food and their own shelter. When they are about 3 months old, they begin to raise their own young. So a 3-month-old rabbit is already ready to be a rabbit parent of its own. So if you think about 3-month-old babies, 3-month-old babies are just learning how to hold their head up and roll around maybe. So rabbits grow up quite quickly. A domestic kit is old enough to leave its mother when it is about 8 weeks old. It's fun to adopt a baby rabbit or grow for your own pet, but you must allow time to take care of it, especially since a rabbit is not an easy starter pet. And these are rabbits of the Nylander breed. So even though rabbits are so adorable and cute, if you're going to think about owning one, you need to know that they take a lot of work. And in fact, the author has spent the next few pages, which I'm not going to read, about how to take care of one, how to take care of a pet rabbit. So all the things you're going to need and you'll have to do. Also, there's different kinds of rabbits. You can have an indoor pet rabbit, since many people keep their rabbits as indoor pets. Other people build outdoor homes called hutches for the rabbits. So you can have kind of an outdoor pet rabbit. Often people enter their pet rabbit into shows or contests. Sometimes they are held at fairs. A rabbit that is judged to be the best wins. And this is called a cinnamon rabbit. So just like there might be dog shows or cat shows, there can be rabbit shows too. Rabbits are lots of fun to watch in their natural environment. But best of all, rabbits are fun to play with. They are wonderful pets that require lots of care, attention, and love. So here's a few more breeds. We've got the Dutch, the White Dwarf, and the New Zealand Red. So they can be a lot of fun, but just know they are also a lot of work. So this is a page kind of talking about the differences between a wild rabbit and a hare. So here we have the wild rabbit. A newborn rabbit has no fur and its eyes are closed. A newborn hare has fur and its eyes are open. So there's some differences. So we have shorter ears, shorter legs, and smaller feet. On a hare, we have longer ears, longer legs, and bigger feet. Rabbits live in groups. Hares live alone. Fur stays the same color year-round. And on hares, sometimes fur turns white during the winter. Why do you think it might turn white during the winter? Yeah, to blend in, have better camouflage with the snow. So even though they are similar, they are different as well. Hop, hop, hop. Here's some kind of just fun, interesting rabbit facts. It says never try to tame a wild rabbit. They are different. Wild rabbits, pet rabbits are not just wild rabbits that have been tamed. They are totally different breeds. When a rabbit is scared, it can make a terrible screaming sound. All wild rabbits' ears stand straight up. Some rabbits' ears hang down. They are called lop-eared rabbits. So all wild ones stand up, but some pet ones have ears that are called lop-eared. They're kind of floppy. When your pet rabbit is happy, it might do a binky. A binky is when a rabbit jumps up in the air and does a spin. Oh, I bet that's really cute to see. The smallest kind of tame rabbit is the Netherland dwarf rabbit. It weighs about 2 pounds. The biggest kind of tame rabbit is the Flemish giant. It can weigh about 24 pounds. That is a 22-pound difference between those two breeds. The Easter Bunny is probably the most famous and legendary rabbit. A German legend tells how the goddess of spring turned a bird into a rabbit. The rabbit was able to lay brightly colored eggs. The goddess gave them to children as gifts. That's why we say Easter Bunny brings eggs. So as we read here, bunnies do not lay eggs, but the Easter Bunny is a little bit special, isn't it? A little bit unique. Rabbits groom themselves like cats. Unlike cats, they cannot cough up hairballs because rabbits cannot vomit. Interesting. In China, it is a tradition each year is ruled by one of 12 animals, and one of those animals is the rabbit. So you might have heard it's the year of the boar, it's the year of the rabbit. So a rabbit is one of China's animals that can be ruling the year. Mother rabbits may make nests in plain sight. She will also limit her time in the nest to prevent predators from finding it. So if you see a nest full of baby rabbits with no mother, leave it alone. The mother will be back soon. So you might think, oh no, the mother is gone. These babies are abandoned, but probably not. The mother is probably nearby and will return soon. Well, that was a great book. Tons and tons of information about rabbits. So I hope you learned something. Remember when we started, we said be on the lookout for a new fact about rabbits. I know I did. And I hope you did as well. Thanks for reading and learning with me. Have a terrific day. I'll see you soon.